G'day, I'm Kevin. I've retired from work in Australia and am living the dream here in Thailand. Relaxing, travelling, exploring, learning. Based in Chiang Mai, the journey continues. This is 52 weeks. Good morning and welcome to Thailand. I'm just enjoying breakfast on the balcony, but I am going to get out and about today, and I thought I would do a 500 baht challenge for you because I haven't done one of those for a little while. Last year I did. Okay, I am out and about. Today is a mainly chore day. Oh, level in the river has gone up quite a lot. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the choke point we had a look at the other day has completely disappeared and the river is running smoothly. It wasn't quite this high this morning, earlier, so looks like it's rising pretty rapidly, and indeed there's not a lot of room left under the bridge. So there might be a little bit of flooding in town at the moment. That restaurant over there has not much to go before it's flooded. Lots of people coming to have a look down near the bridge too. Plenty of water. So as I say, we might see some flooding in town yet. We did have some pretty significant rain in our catchment over the last couple of days, and there was some flooding southeast of Chiang Mai overnight. So I suspect it's a combination of a bit of water entering the system from the catchment and also holding a bit of the water back so that the flooding downstream has a chance to subside. It was one of the Ping's tributaries that was mainly responsible for that flooding, but I guess, yeah, I guess it's a combination of things. So we'll see. If it gets too serious, they'll probably let a bit more water out, but I think they're probably trying to clear downstream a bit before they do that. We'll see in the near future, I guess. Okay, well, that was a bit of a sidetrack. The water had risen quite dramatically since I looked at it this morning. But as I say, I've got a few chores to do today. So I'm actually heading into the Big C supermarket, which is in Pantip Plaza. So that's the first stop for today. And here we are, Pantip Plaza. Not particularly hot outside, a little bit humid, but very cool in here. Big C has had quite a major extension. Ah, here we are. So with the extension, means there's much more stuff here. But the downside is it's also much more difficult for me to find things. So I had a late-ish breakfast, so I'm having a early-ish afternoon tea. We'll see if lunch happens. Maybe I'll have a late lunch, who knows. But I'm here at Pantip, did my shopping, and I was at Big C. I got myself a chocolate bread. Was hoping for a donut, but there were no donuts there. And a sparkling iced tea. So with the renovations at Pantip, there's this developing food court up on the second floor, which is well worth a look. And it also has nice places to sit and just have a quiet 20-30 minutes while you have some morning or afternoon tea. Cheers. Okay, change of plan. Well, I was having a pleasant break at Pantip. My condo manager sent through a notice from the Chiang Mai municipality which said to prepare for flooding in our area. So I'm heading for home just to see what the state is. For me, it's not that tragic. I'm on the 15th floor, so all of my stuff will be okay. But who knows how the services will be affected. I'm thinking I might just go and check into a motel for a couple of days and see what the world is like after that. Yeah, so I did a video a little while back about being flexible, so I will be flexible today. Anyway, so I'm heading back home. I'll see what the situation is there and maybe collect some stuff for a couple of days and head to a motel on the other side of town. Looks like we might get a little bit more rain too. So I've noticed preparations happening on my way home. People are kind of sandbagging. The school seems to be kind of methodically sending their students home. So people are certainly preparing for a bit of flooding. It may not be deep, but according to the map that they sent through, could possibly be widespread. I am at home at the moment. I've just gathered a bag together and done all the prep I need to do. The river level has risen a bit since I got home, and the peak is expected through at 1 a.m, which gives me, 10 hours or so to get out of the way, so it's not exactly tragic. They're actually prepping the building. They're getting sandbags. They're going to try and protect the power and the water in the building, but I just thought, if something goes wrong, I could get another kind of fistful of rain coming through, then I won't be here for them to worry about. So I let them know I'm just going to go and stay in a hotel for a couple of days, which is what I intend to do. The flooding is reasonably extensive. So I don't think it's going to be, hugely deep, but it will flood shops and homes and things like that. So so I'm heading north of the city. I'm going back to a hotel that I used to stay in when I would come here for a holiday, so that'll be pleasant. So I'll let you know what happens. Okay, I have spent a night in the hotel. It was a bit of rain overnight, so not sure how the water levels are going. There's another YouTuber who was doing a live stream. He lives in the same area as I do, and this morning the road that I live on, well, the part of the road that I live on hadn't flooded yet, but the road on the other side of the river had flooded and the water was still rising, and the little pathway behind where I live, the water was just lapping at the edge of that and still rising. So thought I might go for a wander down to that area, see what I can see. Not back to my place, because probably won't be able to get through the waters, because I'd have to go on the road that was flooded. But down towards there, see what's going on. The area I'm in at the moment is a place that I used to stay all the time when I came to visit as a tourist. I don't get over here that much, but it's all very familiar to me still. A few changes, of course, but all very familiar. I actually know which roads to look down so I don't get run over by cars. Anyway, I'm going to head down towards the old city and then down to the river. I have made it all the way to the river at the end of Chiang Mai Road, right near the Warrawat market and the walking bridge across the road, across the river rather. The water is flowing pretty fast, as you can probably see over that way. But the roads here at the moment are okay. Flooding I saw this morning further down that way near my place. So I'm going to head in that direction and see what the land is like. Looks like business as usual at the Warrawat market, but over the other side looks like a few of the businesses might be experiencing some flooding. There's a little bridge up over a little bit further, so I might go and have a look and see what I can see. Okay, that's the road on this side of the river. So the road looks okay at the moment, but that's where the river is at the moment. So it won't take much more for the river to rise and cover the road. It is still rising slowly, I believe. So this road may be swamped, and I would say that the businesses on the river side of the road certainly have some water coming in. I was about to say I'm surprised that the stormwater drains aren't backing up and letting some of this water onto the road. And I just see ahead of me that that's exactly what's happening just here. So yeah, all the stormwater runs into the river, and then of course when the river gets high enough, even if there's a barrier in the road like this footpath, the stormwater starts seeping through the stormwater drains as it is here, and as I believe it is happening there where I live. This is how close it is. Matter of millimeters. Heading towards home. This road goes past my place and looks like it's experiencing a bit of difficulty. They're still letting traffic through here by the look of it. Well, certainly letting traffic through here, but there's a bit of water across the road here. I was about to say this side looks alright, and it's the other side now that looks like it's in a bit of trouble because I've crossed the river. But it looks like this side is once again the storm water's kind of being overloaded and the river's pushing it back into the road here. There's some of the businesses on the other side of the road that I was just talking about. Once again, looking like they're getting some water in from the river. Looks like the iron bridge is still taking traffic. So all of the bridges appear to be working, except the one near my place, I think, that crossed the river. They all look like they're working. It's just where the road dips down between the bridges, as you can see there, that I think is in imminent danger of a bit of flooding there. Alright, that might be as far as I'm going today. My apartment is about 2 kilometres down that road, maybe not quite, so it would be a wet walk home at the moment. My friend lives down that road a little way, so he looks like he is... well. One of those moments when cars go past and the wake pushes the water over your shoes. So I've got soggy feet now. Nevertheless, yeah, I think that's one of the serious low areas down there. So that might be as far as I'm going. This road up here, when we get there, this road heads up to Pantip and then up to the old city. So it looks a bit damp there. Once again, I think that's a fairly low road. There you go. So that's how things are at the moment. I've heard a couple of stories. One is that the government is saying that the floods are under control, which they probably are. They're just the water's rising very slowly, and at this stage it's the low-lying areas right next to the river that are at risk. But the other story I've heard is that it is still rising, so we will see what happens. Well, I've just spent my second night in my hotel here on the northern part of Chiang Mai. There was another really big peak last night from the rains the night before. It was expected mid to late evening, and they were expecting in excess of 5 meters to come through. My apartment building sent a message saying that they were kind of preparing for possible flooding on the ground floor there. And I've heard this morning that the Can-Do bar was flooded last night or this morning as well, so it got pretty high. I saw Raj yesterday. He was as prepared as he could be, but I did see the waters were rising on Chiang Mai Road, so he probably had some damage as well. I haven't heard from him today yet, but hopefully he's okay. I'm not going to go down to have a look today. I'm just going to stay right out of the way. The last thing they need is people down there gawking, I suspect. But yeah, got pretty bad last night. So that's the state of play at the moment. I'm on a expedition this morning to see if I'm likely to be able to get across the river back to where I live tomorrow, or if I need to extend my stay out north here for a couple of days. We only had a very tiny bit of rain last night, so hopefully the river is starting to recede at least. The problem is, even when the river starts to recede, the stormwater system will be backed up a little bit, so there may still be some flooding from the water that came out of the stormwater system, but we'll see. Okay, this is good news so far. I saw videos yesterday where the water was lapping at the top of those steps there. So it has receded quite a bit by the look of it. A couple of 100 meters past Chiang Mai Road this is. So the water has receded quite a bit. Just travelled past the Mekar Canal, and the water in there is pretty high. Just across the road here on the lane that comes out behind the Pantip Plaza, there's some water there, but it looks like what they're actually doing is pumping water out of the underground car park there. So presumably that filled up and they're just emptying that out at the moment. But yesterday there was, once again, I saw video images of the water right along here and lapping at the steps, top of the steps for the Pantip Plaza here. So it's not all that surprising that the basement was filled up, or the car park basement. But it's actually looking relatively dry. Just down at the end of the road there was where I was a couple of days ago, where my feet got wet as the cars went by. So I might just pop down there and see what the water level's like down there at the moment. But yeah, it was all the way along Chiang Mai Road down there. Raj's shop was okay apparently, but I think his brother's shop a bit further up the road got some water in it. But yeah, the water was running all the way up the top there. Still a bit of water lying about, and people starting their cleanup here, so I think they're anticipating that it won't rise again. I'm actually walking up the middle of the road because of the water lying around, and I've got a car coming towards me, so I might just change sides. Yes, still flooded down here. I was down at that corner a couple of days ago where that car just went round and the bike came around. There was traffic getting through. Just along here was all underwater at that stage, so it is down a little bit, but that section of the riverside is still a little bit flooded, which is not all that surprising, because that was one of the first ones along this section to be flooded. So be interesting to see if I can get across the river a bit further down, which is my plan. Haven't hit as many obstacles as I thought I might today. I was expecting lots of local area flooding because of the drains, stormwater drains being backed up. But this is the first really problematic area I've come across, and this is pretty close to the river. So this section of Chiang Mai Road near the Shangri-La Hotel, or starting near there, that's still flooded. Looks like it might be okay once you get past the traffic lights a bit further up the road, but getting there will be the trick. I think I'm going to head back and try and double round on the other side of these buildings. There's a road that goes along the other side of it, so we'll see if we can get through there. There's somebody not willing to take the chance. They're going to try another route as well. Well, this road doesn't look too promising either, at least for traffic. It is getting through, and so far it's not at the height of the footpath, so we'll see how we go along here a bit. But yeah, still a fair bit of water lying around in places. This is as far as I got up on Chiang Mai Road. You can just see the Shangri-La at the end of the road there, but I can get up further. The road's a bit underwater, but the footpath is okay, so I might be able to get through here. Okay, I came through there. There's a little bit of a dry path along the edge there. Got up to here, but then getting back down to Chiang Mai will be difficult, on foot at least. I think I could make it in a tuk-tuk. I'd probably walk it if I didn't mind getting my feet wet. But I think maybe once again my area where I live was one of the early ones to get flooded, I think. So I might extend my stay out north another day and come and check it out again later. When we were here a couple of days ago, this was all still flooded, and the canal, I actually didn't get to see the canal here, but a bit further towards Loi Krau it was chock-a-block, but it looks like it's down to a fairly normal level at the moment. And Chiang Mai Road has dried out as well. So all of this, once again, I couldn't get anywhere near here a couple of days ago when I was wandering about. There is still a little bit of water in various places. That's mainly from stormwater drainage that's backed up by the look of it. There's a few kind of choke points in the system, and of course there's the problems that the flooding caused in the stormwater system, so there's a few of those to resolve, but nothing major that I've seen so far. Of course there is still flooding in the areas outside of Chiang Mai, so still some problems there, but the water's clearing. But of course it's clearing down to the central plains and through Bangkok before it meets the sea, so still some problems to deal with yet, but at least for the time being Chiang Mai's looking like it's recovering. And back near my place, the river has returned to a more normal level. Certainly dropped since last time I was here. It was lapping right at the top of that bank when I left. They've tidied up the communications cables so you get a better view off the bridge. Don't know why they did that in the flood. Maybe, surely it didn't get that high. Okay, so there is some evidence of it coming across the banks, but a fair whack of it's been cleaned up. But I'm not staying here. I actually have another night booked in my hotel and paid for, so I'm going to use it. Yeah, and then I'll be back tomorrow. Well, that's how I experienced this flood in Chiang Mai. Nothing very dramatic, not difficult at all for me, because I had the resources to just get out of the flooded area and check into a hotel. Now, the same can't be said for lots of people who had their homes flooded and their businesses flooded. So people who were down by the river and that's where their homes and businesses are had it a lot more difficult than I did. But as I say, that was my experience, and I've got one more night here in the hotel, and then I'm going to head home tomorrow. And the plan after that is that I'm going to spend a bit of money in my local community. So people who are trying to get back up and going with their businesses, I'm going to spend money to help them do that. That's probably the best thing I can do, I think. There's still a few problems in town. There's some localised flooding where there are drain blockages, stormwater drain blockages and things like that, and there's going to be some problems with the roads because water and roads don't make a good matching. So there may be problems that they don't even know about with the roads yet, so we'll see what happens. But for me, that's it for the time being, and I will catch you next time.